Welcome back, folks, to our reading of Life Among the Stars. We'll be going to chapter 10 and 11. I hope you enjoyed the earlier chapters. If you want to find the earlier ones, just look through our list of videos on our channel and you can listen to them and catch up. And so, without ado, we pick up where we left off on chapter 10. The title is And Picked Up Her Bag. After everyone cleared out, I took a few deep breaths and wondered what that was all about. Had I made a deal with the devil? I looked at the table and saw a small purple handbag sitting there. I knew it was Sheila's. She must have forgotten it. I reached over to pick it up when I heard a knock. I answered the door. She was just standing there. I forgot something, she said, looking a bit embarrassed. May I come in? Of course. I reached over and picked up her bag. To my surprise, she took a seat. I just need to sit a while. That was a little intense, don't you think? I sat across from her, bag still in my hand. She reached out. I placed it in her hand. A little, I said. Can I get you a drink or something? Sure. She leaned slightly forward. Thank you. I hate to intrude. I'll be out of your hair soon. Good, because I have very little hair. Yes, I noticed that, she said. She began to smile. Sorry, I was joking. It's something I can't do around those two. They are my parents, you know. I walked over and gave her a glass of wine, keeping one for myself. I took a seat across from her. Really? It's kind of odd, isn't it? I mean, pretending as though they aren't. It is a long story, she said. My father's always looking for some angle or something. I don't know what his plan was, but as usual it seems ridiculous. She leaned back and crossed her legs. She sipped her wine. Perfect. I love white wine. So do I said, leaning back myself. We were quiet for a moment. So? So, she said. You're an interesting young man, aren't you? I try to be, I said. You could be an essential, you know. And why would I want to be an essential? What would that mean? The power to reshape the earth for the better and to change some policies in place that are supported by the essentials. She reached into her bag and pulled out a dampening device. She clicked it on and sat it down. I thought those were illegal. For some people, not for essentials. So you are an essential. I used to be. I renounced it all, ran away, got a job doing social work and political work as a lawyer. But you can never get away from them once they get their hooks on you. I told my father about your pod and how you needed a little house. He picked up the phone when I was right there and called someone. To him, he didn't even have to hide it because it was normal behavior. Suddenly, look what we are sitting in. Really, I thought it was you. Me. If I bought a little house this nice, it would be for me, not a stranger. But I guess we are friends. A little friendly anyway, right? Maybe. I want you to think about what I've said. Really. You're not going to make the changes we need until you become an essential. And those changes, you know, enslavement of the ALFs and forcing humans off planet to expand Earth territory. She picked up the dampening device and held it tightly in her fist as she spoke. Those colonies send back the materials and the minerals that are rare on Earth and other planets. Other colonies? Yes, and other planets. Wait a minute, are we talking about... Yes, we are. She picked up her bag. There are two ways you can become an essential. Work your way up politically taking bribes, or marry into the essential family. Think about it. The only person I know in an essential family is you. I don't guess your mother would want to marry me. No, but I might consider it. We could make an arrangement, an arranged marriage. I would text you. So you have my number, and we can begin negotiations if you're interested. Really? That easy, eh? I didn't say anything would be easy. Thing is, it would be a marriage from death do we part and all of that garbage and no cheating in the open anyway. She smiled. Let me know by tomorrow. And remember, this is a once in a lifetime deal. You can become powerful and start to make the dreams of your human and ALF's lives into a reality, or at least have a fighting chance at it anyway. I'll give it some consideration. Good. And please keep it to yourself. My father is very unpredictable. I'm going to turn off the damper, okay? I gave her a nod. She hit the button. Thank you for your hospitality, she said. I have a habit of forgetting things. I think our car is coming up the driveway. I'll just wait outside. Yes, just let me know if you need anything. We heard a small car pulling up. Ah, here it is, thank you. She stood and walked out the front door. I could hear some talking and hear the door opening and closing. The car pulled off. I sat back and sighed again. Those people made me nervous. How could such a small group of people have gotten so much power? It baffled me. Now she was inviting me in and expecting me to become part of the vampire class. Was she for real? Or was this some kind of trick? I locked the front door for the first time in years. I was nervous for some reason, involved with all of the people I never wanted to meet. I had kept my head down for years and had remained invisible. How did I end up in the middle of everything? Right in the middle. I undressed and slid out the bookcase and turned it around. It was a set of stairs. I slowly climbed up to my loft. From up there I could control all the lights. I turned all the lights from the lower room off and the outside lights on. I leaned back in my bed. I had to admit that this thing was way more comfortable than my little pod. I should have gotten one a long time ago. But if they thought getting me a pod that I could have got myself would possibly win me over, they were going to be surprised. As for working as an insider to change things, I had to think about that and whether I trusted Sheila or not. I would find out if I could. I had time. I clicked off the light and lay back. Through the skylight right above the bed, I could see a beautiful starlit sky. I had never slept under the stars before. It would close, theoretically, early in the morning before the sun rose, if it did as it did the night before. This was only my second day in my new home. I quickly fell into a deep sleep and awakened refreshed, with an opaque ceiling above me. I clicked a small button on the side, and a small slab of plastic retreated and retracted, opening up to a beautiful, cloudless sky. I sat there wondering if I could really help. Skip to another section. Baron waited with great expectation. Marjorie had gone to bed a few hours ago. He saw the light on the elevator flash. He knew Sheila was on the way up. He waited. When it was just about to the penthouse, he went around to the back of the couch, which was facing away from the elevator. He leaned with his back against it, facing her. The door opened. Well? He asked, greatly excited. She walked in, tossed her bag on the sofa and stood across from him. Well, what? You know what? Well? Probably. It won't be hard. Really? He smiled from ear to ear. He grabbed her and hugged her. I said probably. You might be a little too... No, I'm not. I know that man. He reminds me of... He choked up a little bit and paused. Kenneth. Kenneth was his brother. They had worked hard to build their empire together. Kenneth was the heart of the operation. Baron always thought that the only thing stopping him from becoming a monster was Kenneth. Kenneth was a kind man. He was a very strong and intelligent man, but had a heart of gold. Baron was more shrewd and harder. When Kenneth died of a tragic incident a few years previous, he thought he would die. He wished he had. He tried to save Kenneth from a flash flood when they were looking at some properties in the Sahara. The weather was unpredictable. A flash flood happened in a narrow canyon as a rainstorm started in the desert. No one expected that. He had heard about things like fast running water and instant rivers happening in the desert when it rained, but how often did that happen? He was only a few feet away, a little uphill, with this flood that just came whipping through and dragging Kenneth and several others down a narrow grotto. It was so fast he was gone into some type of underground cavern before Baron could reach him. He died drowning somewhere in the dark because of a freak accident. Baron was shaken to his foundation and felt like he couldn't go on. It took months to get over it, but he never really did completely. Pairing up with someone like Kenny would make things a lot better. A whole lot better. Is he that much like Uncle Kenny? She asked. Yes, he is. Well, how do you feel about what we're doing to him? You act like we're going to kill him. He's going to marry a beautiful woman and he can fight for the things he wants. That's what you promised him, right? That's true. But do you not want to be his wife? Is that it? If you don't, we can stop this. An arranged marriage is still a real marriage, if you know what I mean. Do you want to? Or not? I don't know. I guess I do, but it's weird. You knew you would have to have an arranged marriage someday, didn't you? Yes, that's why I left and tried it your way, but you came back when you saw the way the world was out there. Yes, but look at it this way. Maybe you two rebels can do something to make the changes you want if you can fight hard enough and stay focused. You are always ahead of us. No, I'm not. He's like Kenny. He'll call you soon. He'll wait a couple of days to make you sweat. But he knows he wants to do it. You wait and see. Chapter 11. I knew the bar would be packed, so Kathy, Roland, Lindsay, and Fred came to my house. I had tons of food from the dinner 2 nights before. I was still thinking about what Sheila had said. I hadn't called her. I really had to think it over. We pulled out the chairs around the table. Anybody hungry? I asked. Sure, Fred, the other human said. The others looked up at me. I could eat something if you were just trying to get rid of food, Roland said. Make that 2 of us, Kathy added. I might as well get down with the rest of you, Lindsay said. Good. I have plenty of food. Let me help you with it, Fred said, coming into the kitchen. This is new, Kathy said. I've never seen humans feeding ALFs before. The others laughed. Well, you do enough for us. You might as well have a chance to rest. Ha! Thank you, James, Fred said. I'm a bricklayer. Those fuckers are trying to force me off the planet by loading me up with more and more work and cutting back on pay. He set a tray of food in the center of the table. They give the ALFs the office work and make the humans break their backs where I work. He looked at the ALFs. Don't get me wrong, I love you folks, but seems it should be the opposite way around. You don't get tired, do you? Never, Kathy said, picking up a finger sandwich from the plate. Fancy hors d'oeuvres even, she said. That's only the beginning. We will be having ham sliced, some food from my own garden, and cake for dessert. How's that sound? Good. I I'll have to turn my taste buds on, Lindsay said. Fred looked at her, jaw dropped. What, Fred? When the food is good, I turn them on. When it's bad, that's a little click, and I'm not being rude to anyone. Wow, he said. Roland was quiet. I looked at him as I brought a platter of sliced ham around. It was surrounded by vegetables. I dropped it down onto the table. What's running through your mind, Roland? I asked. I put the tray down. What is it? Just rumors. The possibility of a new essential coming online. Really? Yes, some buzz about it. The ALFs are getting ready for a new one by marriage. He looked up at me. Know anything about it? I can't say, Roland. I really can't say. Enough said, Kathy said. She looked at me and then looked at him and winked. Told you. She turned to me. I'm a pleasure, remember? I get to hear gossip at the highest level. Well, aren't you supposed to keep it secret at the highest level? I asked. She just smiled. Fred looked at me. Don't look at me. They all looked at me. Why are you looking at me? We know. Fred doesn't, but we all do. You may become an essential soon. What? Fred asked. You just ruined my night, I said. Those people are crazy. If they think I told you anything, they will kill me. I told them I would think about it. Your secret's safe with us, Roland said. And you, Fred? Oh, he can be killed too if he talks too much, Lindsay said. They began to laugh. Fred and I made eye contact for a second. They weren't joking, I could tell. What the hell was going on with these ALFs and the Essentials? At that moment, I knew I had to call Sheila. They had ruined my night. I think it would be a good thing. I think you could really advocate for us. I never said that it was me. What do you mean? Oh, yeah, Roland said. He grinned. I hope you know we are joking, James. I hope so. Skip to a new section. Sheila leaned on the island in the middle of the kitchen looking at her smartphone. Baron shook his head. She looked at him and smiled. He was so old-fashioned. The phone began to ring. She could see a picture of James in a small window on the phone. She pursed her lips. It's him. He has the nerve to call me after 3 or 4 days. She hit the answer button. Oh, hi, stranger. I thought you had disappeared somewhere. Where have you been? She looked over and saw Baron violently shaking his head. Just a minute, she said. She put it on mute. He's like Kenny. If you offend him, you'll never hear from him again. You know how Kenny was. She glared at him for a few moments and then went back to the phone. Her tone had changed. I wondered if anything happened to you. I was concerned. How are you? I was afraid that I scared you off or something. No, you didn't do that. I was just thinking about what you were saying. It's a big step, you know. She leaned back against the island and continued to talk. Yes, it is. It is for me too. I'm just trying to find a way to help people, you know, just like you. I thought we could do it together. Maybe we can, I said. Let's talk. Can you come see me at my place? Of course. Now? Right now? She said a little more loudly than she wanted. No, I guess it can wait. Oh no, I'll meet you soon. I'm on my way. Thank you for coming on short notice like this. It's no problem. I look forward to it. Bye. She looked at Baron. You know that was a test, don't you? If you go there now, you will have him. You men and your little tests. Don't tell me you women don't have them too. You would have blown it if I hadn't known how much like Kenny he is. I can read him like a book. Really? Well, let's see what story this book has to tell. I'll go without eating anything first. That should nail it. Oh, yes. That will be beautiful. And that is the end of the reading for the night. the reading of chapter 10 and 11. Stay tuned. Watch the channel for the next reading. You can even find copies of the book at Amazon.com. Thanks for being with us. Check below to see some important links. Take advantage of some of them. Hit the bell, subscribe to help support this channel, and maybe by taking advantage of some of the offers on our website, you will be able to support us even better. Have a great evening. Namaste, folks.